Hello everybody and welcome back to more Let's Play Star Trek Online. The Doctor is here and I am here to show you some more Star Trek Online ships. I have a very special ship to show you today on my tactical character, the Valiant Doctor, and it is the Andorian ships. This first video will be an introduction to the ships. I'll just make it a dedicated introduction, show you what I've built up with the resources I have. And after the introduction, then we will do 3 elite space STFs, and then after that may even do some more Taldewa sector patrols, just to show you how the ship does against other enemies like Tholians and Romulans and other stuff like that, because it's very powerful, and you may not be able to see all of its abilities in the STFs, but against regular NPCs in like sector patrols, you're going to see how powerful it is, especially with one of the special weapons it has. So first let's look at what this ship is. If we go to the Z store, of course, we can go to, actually that is not the Z store, there we go, Z store and ships, and let's go under Federation class. Even though it's an Andorian ship, it is under the Federation. Actually, you can buy it as a bundle, and I have done that. So if you go to bundles first, you'll see right here it's called Andorian Kumari Vessels Pack, and it includes 3 different Andorian ships. It's got the Kumari class, the Andorian Escort, the Kaizen class, and the Andorian Escort Charal class. So those are the 3 ships, and each one has different console layouts and different bridge officer layouts depending on how you want to customize the ship. And each ship also has a unique console ability, and if you get all 3 ships, you can put all 3 console abilities together on one ship and get a 2-piece bonus for 2 of them and a 3-piece bonus for 3 of them. So it's very powerful. So here's some pictures. This is all 3 of the ships and what they look like. That's one of the ships there, that's another one of the ships, and that's the other ship. They look very similar. They're not that different in looks. Basically some different pylons and engine looks to them. This is the one that I'm flying right here, and I like it a lot. I forgot which one it actually is though, so I'll have to go back and look. But alright, so if we go to each specific ship and look at it, you've got the Kumari Escort Charal class, and well, you can read about it here. Pause the video and read if you like. This tells you a lot about it, and here's some more about it, and then finally what we want to get down to is what it is capable of. Hull strength 32,000, and now this is an escort. So that's a really good hull strength for an escort. It's got a shield modifier of 0.9, so it's not rinky-dinky on the shields. It's got a crew of 85, not a huge crew, but all you need. Now here's what's really cool about it. 5 4 weapon slots, 2 aft. So you got 5 4 slots. This one has 1 commander tactical, 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 lieutenant engineering, 1 ensign engineering, 1 lieutenant universal. This has 4 tactical consoles and 4 engineering consoles and 2 science. This is actually the ship that I chose, so this is the one that I have, the Charal class. 16 degrees per second turn rate, turns really good. It's got an impulse modifier, and it's got plus 15 to weapon subsystems. That's power. And then console universal, the unique console this one comes with is called wing cannon platforms, and I'll show you what that is. And it can equip cannons, of course. Now here's the reason why I chose this ship, because it's very balanced. Out of all 3 of the Andorian ships, the Charal class here is probably the most balanced, because you get the 4 tactical console modifications, so you can have 4 tactical consoles. And then you get the 4 engineering, so you can actually build it so that you are sustainable in battle and you're not going to die as quickly. And then 2 science, which I like to fill up with those shield emitters or generators so that I get extra shield capacity. But what I like best about it is the bridge officer station layout. You get a commander tactical, so you get that full tactical capability, and you want that, of course, on an escort. And then you also get a lieutenant commander tactical, so you've got a ton of tactical ability on the ship. You've got lieutenant engineering and ensign engineering, and then lieutenant universal, which I use for science. So it's pretty balanced. If we look at the others, you're going to see that it's shaped one way or the other, more toward science or more toward tactical or something like that. This is the most balanced that will give me the most ability to do damage, but also take damage and not die really fast. That's my big thing. So here's the Kaizen class, and you can see it's got the same hull strength, same shield modifier, same 5-4 and 2 aft. But here's where it differs. It's got 4 tactical and 4 science and only 2 engineering, so it's heavy on the science console modification and lesser on the engineering. So that, you know, if you want to make it a little more sciencey, sure, you can do that. But then you only got 2 engineering. 1 commander tactical, 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 ensign engineering, 1 lieutenant science, and then 1 lieutenant universal, so it forces you into a science bridge officer station anyway. So that's a little more science heavy. And plus 15 weapon subsystems, and the console it comes with is the Tachyon induction relay, which basically will drain shields on enemies, I think. We'll look at that. But that is, again, a sciencey power, so that makes sense. Okay, now this one, the Kumari class, this one is really the escort. Because look at this, check this out, 5 tactical console modification. So you got 5 tactical consoles on this baby, 3 engineering, 2 science. So 1 less engineering than the one that I'm flying, but it's got an extra tactical console slot. 1 commander tactical, 1 lieutenant commander tactical, 1 lieutenant. See, it's got 3 tactical bridge officer stations, but then only 1 ensign engineering and 1 lieutenant universal. So like if you want to have a science officer, that's good, but then you're only going to have 1 ensign engineering. So you're only going to have like 1 in engineering position there. So I don't know what's going on with the game right now. I think there's been some kind of mass log out and log in or something. I don't know what's going on. Okay, anyway, so the Kumari class is very, very, very heavy on obviously tactical stuff, and you're only going to have 1 ensign engineering bridge officer. So that's why I went with the other one, because it's the Charal, because it's very, very balanced and still very powerful, as you're going to find out. But I have all 3 ships because I bought the bundle. That means I can put all 3 consoles together, and the console on the Kumari was the what was it? Universal, say, phaser dispersal array, and I'll show you what that is. So I got the bundle. All right, now let's look at it. Go to my loadout screen here and status. So here I am, Andorian Charal Escort, and my crew. We'll look at all this in space because all this stuff won't show up until you're in space. But here's how I've loaded it out based on the resources that I have. Now I am limited in resources. I'm not the richest player in the game. And one thing that I did not have is any Andorian weapons before I got this ship. Obviously, this is my first Andorian ship, so I didn't have any Andorian weapons. And there are specific Andorian weapons in the game, so you will want to use those if you can. Now this ship comes with natively all 3 of the Andorian ships come with this. It's called a Kumari Phaser Wien Cannon, damage times 4. All 3 ships come with this. Unfortunately, you cannot put more than 1 of these on a ship, though. So even though I have 2 more of these on the other 2 ships, it does not allow you to put more of these on your ship. You can only equip 1 at a time. And this is the unique ability that basically comes with the ship. The ship was designed for basically a lot of damage, and the Wien cannons are its name to fame, basically. So this is the unique weapon that it comes with. So obviously you want to have it equipped on the ship. It's bound to character, cannot equip more than one of this item. Let's see, energy damage. We'll look at all that in space because it's not going to show up here while we're on ESD. But that comes default with the ship, so you want to have that in one of the 5 forward weapon slots. And you can see I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why they give you 5, is because one of them is already taken up by the unique weapon, right? Now you want to equip it with cannons, obviously, because it is an escort. So what cannons do you go with? Well, there are Andorian cannons in this game, so that's what you want. You'll see that I have Andorian Phaser Dual Heavy Cannon Mark 11 damage and accuracy times 2, and I've got 3 of them. I filled all 3 spots with that, and then I left my 4th or 5th for with a torpedo, and I'll tell you why I chose that one in a second. Now, where do you get these Andorian weapons? Well, you go to the dilithium store, actually. Dilithium store right here, and you go to, I think it's dilithium store. Oh, maybe it's something different. Let me see, let's see. Yeah, it is. Okay, dilithium store, and then you go to special items and boxes. And then under that, you go to special stuff, or blah, blah, blah. You'll see that there's special stuff here: transwarp coils, Dominion lock boxes, spiral wave disruptors, and then you'll see that there are Andorian weapons. You've got an Andorian dual phaser beam bank, Andorian phaser dual heavy cannons, Andorian phaser cannons, beam arrays, dual cannons, phaser turrets, and then of course there's even more stuff and other things here. All of this is bought with dilithium. So if you don't have the dilithium to buy these things, then you can't afford them, obviously. So what you want to do is make sure you get enough dilithium, and you'll see that each one of these costs 22,620 dilithium. So to get all 3 of these, cost me quite a bit of dilithium, and now I'm down to 37,000. But it was worth it in order to get me the Andorian weapons that match this ship. That way it just all has the same energy type. That's the key there. Now, unfortunately, these are not Mark 12. They are only Mark 11. So how do you get Mark 12? Well, you'd have to do that by going and getting the fleet versions of these, just like I have the fleet versions of some other weapons on other ships. If you grind for fleet marks and fleet credits and all that junk, and you have you're in a good fleet and you have access to those weapons, then you can get there are Andorian Phaser Dual Heavy Cannon Mark 12 fleet weapons, which are more powerful, and I would recommend those if you can get them. I have not grinded enough to get those weapons, so I don't have them right now because it costs dilithium plus the fleet credits, and I don't have enough of either to get all that, so I had to settle with the Mark 11s. However, the modifiers on them are pretty good. Accuracy times 2. Accuracy is always better over damage, especially with cannons. So you definitely want to go with accuracy. So these have accuracy times 2 on them, and then 1 damage modifier. So the modifiers are pretty good. 3 modifiers. I mean, it's not bad. And they're Mark 11, and they're very rare. So they're not terrible. I mean, they're very powerful, and you're going to see that they are very powerful. So obviously I went with the dual heavy cannons. So that's where I got them, and that's where I put them on. Now, if you want to read a little bit about what these are made out of, these are phaser space weapons, and so they are based on phaser technology, and they have a chance to knock a single subsystem offline for several seconds. So that's what they are. They're phaser dual heavy. Yeah, they're Andorian. I don't know what specifically makes it Andorian about them, except they are a different color. But here's the stats on them. Dual heavy phaser cannons. Let's see, it does phaser damage. It can disable a subsystem, and I guess it has a critical severity added to it. Maybe that's what makes it Andorian. It's got that plus 10% critical severity added to it. So that's nice. So you do a little bit more crit damage on them. And then of course it's got that plus 20% accuracy. So that's what I went with for that. And then of course on my rear I only had room for 1 of the turrets because I'm using the other spot for the kinetic cutting beam, which I'll talk about in a second. So basically for the Andorian weapons, that's what I got. 3 dual heavy Mark 11 Andorian phaser cannons, and then the turret. And then of course the native weapon that comes with the ship is the Wien cannon. And we can read a little bit about that. These powerful phaser cannons are built into the frame of the Andorian escort ships of the Kumari line. Their powerful energy discharges deal heavy damage at the cost of significant weapon power and a slow rate of fire. Energy weapons are equally effective against starship shields and hull. Yeah, we know that. Phaser space weapons have a chance to knock a single subsystem offline. So these do. These are very powerful. These do a lot of damage, and I'll show you what they look like and what they do in space, because there's abilities that tie into them with these special consoles, and it is very powerful. So powerful, so good. Okay, next, that's the Andorian layout for my ship. Next, I like to put as many space sets on my ship as possible that it can support for the 2-piece and 3-piece bonus sets. So one of the sets that I was able to completely deck out on this ship is the Omega space set. Now where do you get that? You get that obviously in your reputation, Task Force Omega, and if you look through the available stuff, go to Space Gear, and you've got the we'll just look at them real quick. The Assimilated Universal Console. This is part of the Omega set, and you'll see when you hover over it, it says part of set Omega Adapted Borg Technology, and 3 of 3, so I have that. And then the Cutting Beam is another part of that set, part of set Omega Adapted Borg Technology. And then the third part to that is the Omega Torpedo. And those 3 devices make up the Omega Adapted Borg Technology set, whatever. Here it is, Omega Torpedo Launcher, and that is also part set Omega Adapted Borg Technology. So with 2 of these, you have set 2 bonus, which is called Omega Weapon Amplifier, and with set 3, or all 3 of them, you have also Reactive Deflection. So I, of course, wanted to have all 3 of them, and so I have the Cutting Beam. That's the first part, or one of the parts, and then the Universal Assimilated Module, and then the Omega Torpedo. And this makes up the complete 3-piece set. And the bonuses, because of that, the first, or the 2-piece bonus you get is what's called an Omega Weapon Amplifier. It's an enhancement. It 2.5 chance to self applies Omega Weapon Amplifier. It gives plus 10 current weapon power, plus 500 current weapon power for resistance rating for 3 seconds, and a plus 500 maximum weapon power resistance rating for 3 seconds. And that'll activate on its own. Set 3 is a passive ability, a 1% chance when hit to reduce all incoming damage by approximately 99% for 2 seconds. So basically, and it's only a 1% chance, but it does happen. I've seen it engage, so it works quite more than you would think in battle. So for 2 seconds, all incoming damage is reduced by 99%. That is awesome. Obviously, that's something you would want on an escort, right? I mean, to really protect your ship, because these ships are kind of like flying paper, right? So I get the full 2-piece and 3-piece set bonus for the Omega Adapted Borg Technology. So that's awesome. I have that complete set on my ship, and the items themselves are not bad. Like the Omega Torpedo, for example, is very powerful torpedo. It'll fire a bunch of little plasma torpedoes, very rapid fire. I can fire like 5 of them at once, right? And it will do plasma damage to the enemy. But then also, if I combine that with torpedo high yield, I get what's called I don't forget what it's called. Let's see. Get the basically you get the big old plasma torpedo. I don't know if it has a specific name. Let's see. Each torpedo attack loading special attacks is high yield will consume 1. Yeah, so I guess I just call it a devastating plasma energy bolt. But if you combine it with high yield, you get a very big plasma energy bolt, which is similar to what if you go play the the Borg skirmishes in the sector, those big ships will have this big energy bolt hit you, and that basically disintegrates your ship. You've also seen that in the original Star Trek movie, the very first movie, where V'ger will launch the big plasma energy bolts and basically destroy an entire ship with one energy bolt. Well, you have that ability with this Omega torpedo. You combine that with High Yield 3, for example, and it is an intense energy bolt and will do just a ton of damage and vaporize a ship. So that in itself is just awesome. And then, of course, the kinetic cutting beam continuously fires a 360 degree beam on a ship and will do a whole lot of damage, especially to their hull and all that if their shields are down. So this thing fires in a 360 degree arc, so it's constantly firing no matter how your ship is turned. So I'm getting a lot of damage just from that. And then, of course, the universal module, you get more critical chance, more critical severity, a higher weapon power setting, hull repair, and graviton generators. So that's one set in itself, right? But we can do more. We've obviously got deflector, impulse, and shield sets. So what I've done is I'm benefiting from the two-piece Borg set. And I've got the Borg deflector and Borg impulse, and I have upgraded to Mark 12, so I have the latest versions of those. And these in themselves also have great abilities, like a higher aux power setting. This increases your structural integrity, inertial dampers, graviton generators, and power insulators. And then the impulse engine is a really good impulse engine, and you can fly really fast in sector space. But the two-piece bonus on this is what's called an autonomous regeneration sequencer. And what that means is it's a passive thing, and it will give you plus 0.35 health regeneration, plus 5 starship hull repair, or plus 10 starship hull repair. And when receiving all damage, there's a 2% chance of applying this thing. So it will basically it repairs your hull on your ship. And being an escort, protecting my hull and having that beefed up as much as possible is an important thing to have. And this thing will regenerate my hull. And so I'm getting that two-piece bonus from that. However, instead of using the Borg shield, which is very weak, I went with the Mako shield because the Mako shield is just better. This is the adapted Mako Covariant shield. So this is the upgraded version, not the This is not the Mark 12 regular Mako shield Resilient. This is the adapted Mako Covariant shield, the newest one they've introduced, which has a higher shield capacity, but it still has that 20% reduction of plasma damage, which is what the Borg throw at you. So this thing has a ton of shield capacity. Now I'm not getting the benefits like the set 2 or set 3 bonus for Mako because I don't have the Mako deflector or impulse engines on, but I'm still getting that just inherent goodness of this shield. This shield is just good in of itself. So I'm getting that on an escort, which is nice. So basically I have including the specific Andorian sets, I actually have 2 full sets getting 3-piece bonuses on each set, and then a third set with a 2-piece bonus. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so let's go over everything else I've got on here real quick. The engineering console, I do have a Tachyonetic converter. I got this from the low-buy store. The reason why I like the Tachyonetic converter, I put it on every ship. It increases your flight turn rate, plus 22.9% flight turn rate, so you're going to turn your ship a lot faster. Very nice, especially on an escort. I mean, just really makes it a lot faster, right? Graviton generators also increases your critical chance and critical severity. So again, we've got that, well, along with the universal simulated module, we've got that crit chance and crit severity up, basically as high as we can go, with 2 consoles boosting that, in addition to my reputation stuff that I have enabled for that as well. So my crit stuff is like really high, so I like that. And then for the science consoles, I put 2 field generators in to increase the shield capacity, and you'll see how that helps a lot. I've got my standard neutronium alloy for damage resistance, EPS flow, Now for the tactical consoles, I only had room for one phaser relay. Now remember, I'm doing phaser damage, so I want to do the phaser relay because I'm doing the Andorian phaser stuff. So I only had one slot left because the other three positions are being taken up by the unique consoles that come with the ships. Remember, this is the phaser dispersal array, this is the Tachyon induction relay, and this is the Wien cannon platforms. And having two of these gives you what's called synchronized targeting, and having all three of these gives you what's called Wien cannon synergy. So there's a ton of stuff. Let's talk about these. Alright, phaser dispersal array. Let's read a little bit about that. Phaser Dispersal Array console allows your wing cannons to charge up and fire a powerful blast that will damage your target and all enemies near your target. This console mod can be equipped in a console slot, blah, blah, blah. So basically what it does is it charges up, right? And then, bam, it releases a huge release of energy from your wing cannons. And when this thing hits an enemy, it will literally take them down halfway or more on damage. I mean, it is powerful, especially if their shields are already down. If their shields are down, this will destroy a ship with one hit. This thing is powerful, let me tell you. I've used it. I love it. It does have a recharge time, of course, but this is probably my favorite ability out of this whole thing. Actually, this and then the wing cannon platforms, I should say. So you got the overload, blah blah blah. So that's what that console does. We'll go over the set bonuses in a second. Now the Tachyon induction relay. The Tachyon induction relay console allows your wing cannons to fire a powerful Tachyon Burst that heavily damages all shield facings on your target. In addition, this increases damage to your target shields for a short time. So that is awesome. And look, this weapon was developed based on a strategy used by Commander Data, then piloting the Castro to damage the shields of the Sona Collector in 2375. So basically, it's a Tachyon Burst, and what it will do is it will destroy the shields, all shield facings on the enemy, and continue to do damage to their shields. So you hit them with this Tachyon Burst, bang, and you're taking down their shields, right? That's awesome. And then the third one, and I like this one a whole lot, is the wing cannon platforms. The wing cannon platforms console allow you to deploy 2 wing cannon platforms which will orbit your ship and fire at your targets. Wing cannon platforms will only fire while you are firing your own phaser wing cannons. So basically you're going to get 2 more wing cannons. So basically you're firing your... So basically, let's think of it this way, right? I got my 3 dual heavy cannons firing cannons, bang, 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 bang. And then I got the wing cannons themselves firing cannons, bang, bang. Then, orbiting my ship, I can have 2 more wing cannon platforms firing cannons, bang, bang. Okay? Now imagine all of that cannon firepower going at your enemy. Wow. Now imagine doing that with like scatter volley. Wow. Now imagine doing that with high yield, or rapid fire. Wow. Now imagine that you can tie in some of these other abilities with that. You can tie in the Tachyon thing, for example, with that. So you hit the Tachyon induction relay, and the wing cannons are orbiting your ship, and bang, you're firing a Tachyon induction relay not just from your ship's wing cannons, but also the wing cannons platforms that are orbiting your ship. So you're getting like bang, 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 Tachyon stuff firing at their ships. You're going to totally destroy their shields with that. Now the one thing it doesn't do is the phaser induction or dispersal array. You charge up the phaser dispersal array. That only fires from the wing cannons. That will not fire from the wing cannon platforms. But your bridge officer abilities like scatter volley and rapid fire, as I mentioned, do work with the wing cannon platforms. So you're going to get a dispersal of cannon fire from those as well, or rapid fire on one enemy if you choose, all combined into one. It's just incredible, and the only way to show you all this is just to do it in space, right? And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you a little bit of space in this video, but then really you'll want to watch for the other videos to see how it really is awesome in combat. But I'm going to just show you the abilities today. Okay, now my stations. How did I do my stations? Okay, well, you get the Commander Tactical Station, right? I had to do Rapid Fire 3 because we're doing cannons here. I just felt that that was the natural thing to do. And then I got Cannon Scatter Volley. I've got Torpedo Spread 2, so I also have Torpedo High Yield 3, so we're going to get that huge bolt, that huge Omega torpedo bolt. But at the same time, I've also got Torpedo Spread, so we can do a spread of those miniature Omega torpedoes, and they will spread out and do a whole lot of damage to a lot of enemies at once, and do plasma damage over time to their ships as well. And then I got Tactical Team 1 in this position, and I got Attack Pattern Beta 1. For my Science spot, I got Science Team 2 and Hazard Emitters. For my Engineering spot, I got, two engineering spots. I got Engineering Team 2, Emergency Powered Weapons, and then somebody in the past had mentioned that I should use Emergency Powered Shields more because it reduces damage to shields by 18% for 30 seconds as you use it. So you use it, and then for 30 seconds more, you're still getting a reduction of damage to shields, and you've got plus 15 shield power for 30 seconds as well, and 7.6 shield regeneration for each facing. So it is a shield bubble thing that it does a lot better than just Science Team 2, which will regenerate your shields, yes, but then you hit this, and this is doing more things for like 30 seconds. So it's just better. Let's just put it that way. It's awesome. And on an escort, it's an important thing to have. So we've done that. Now on my, just so you can see what I've got on my reputation, I have, which one of these do I have? Yeah, I've got weapon proficiency on ground. I've got weapon training skill proficiency in for space combat. I've got continuous shield regeneration. That's on ground, and then on space I've got the Omega Graviton Amplifier, chance to deal shield penetrating kinetic damage. And this is a ground ability. I'm only at tier 3 Romulan. In fact, I need to collect those rewards, and I can go ahead and do that. And so I'm not quite. I'm not on tier 4 or 5 Romulan. I'm only tier 3, but I do have the increased critical hit chance on ground and increased critical hit chance in space. And then this is to trigger shield healing, but that's only that's on ground. So the next one I want is to trigger the shield healing in space, but I don't have that yet. So that's where I'm at there. All right, let's go into space, and then I can show you what these abilities look like. So here we are. I should have minimized chat. Here we are. Here's my ship. You can see that the textures on the ship are just awesome. Let me back out, get away from these other ships here. The textures on this ship are very, very high detailed. They've been doing a lot of texture work lately in this game and improving things, and it's showing off here on this ship. Because the detail is just really awesome. Look at that up close. And the color of the ship is also native to the ship. It's what it is. I love the color. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So that's the ship. And of course I've got my Borg visuals turned on. The deflector I have turned off because that thing looks stupid on it. But the engine I have turned on for the engine effects, the module effects, and I don't have the I have the shield effects turned off, because when I turn the shield effects on the Mako, it lightens the look of the ship. I think it kind of makes it really shiny, but it lightens the color, and I don't like that, so I just turn the shield effects off. and run with it at its default, and it looks awesome like that. So these are the wing cannons, obviously. The basically those are the or this right here, basically the Kumari phaser wing cannons. All right, so let's get just a little bit further away, and then we'll look at some of these things deployed. Okay, so here are the special abilities that we were talking about. This is the wing cannon overload. So if I hit overload, you see it does the power there. Now if I were to fire, it'll charge up and go, and then it'll go and like shoot really powerful things out of its thing. Alright, and you can see it shares a cooldown time with some of the stuff. So it's like I can use that, but then I need to wait like 20 seconds before I can use the Tachyon Burst, because there's a cooldown with that. So Tachyon Burst, basically the same thing. We can hit that, bam, and it'll do the same thing, and instead of firing a powerful phaser burst, it'll fire a Tachyon Burst thing at them. Okay, but then at all times you can see it's not shared cooldown with the wing cannon platforms. I love these. So watch this. I hit this, it launches 2 wing cannon platforms, and they are pretty large. They will orbit my ship just like this. They'll just continue orbiting my ship, and as I fire on an enemy, they will fire on an enemy. If I move forward, they will follow me, so they stay behind me. They kind of orbit and weave back and forth, and they will stay behind me like that. And so I can move forward and fire on enemies, bang, 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 bang. And so I've got all my cannons firing out of my ship. I got the wing cannon platforms on my ship. Then I got these wing cannon platforms back here, also shooting at the enemy. It is so awesome. I can't recall them. They'll like blow up. They have health, so they do die, but they're pretty tough. But if they get caught in an explosion, they'll die. Then you have to wait for the cooldown, and then you can recall them. Or I'm fixing to run into something here in space. So that's basically the special abilities of the ship. And then of course I got all my just native powers to the ship. I've got this is the emergency power to shields, which is good. I got my attack pattern alpha, beta, my rapid fire, and high yield, and all that good stuff. And basically it's a tactical character, tactical build, so it's all set up for that. But when we do these, when you see these things in action, it's going to be pretty awesome. Now since we're in space, we can look at my stats. My hull is at 44,000. So not bad. You can see if I take off the deflector, how that does affect the hull. 41 is what it's at there, and then put that on and go to 44. So that does affect the hull strength actually, and that's the structural integrity right there. It's doing that. Hull repair rate is 200% a minute. My shields are awesome at 12,000. Take off the shield. Obviously I have no shields. But if I take off my 2 things there, then my regular shield strength is 9.8. So putting these on definitely boosts that up there. And then all the other abilities that are active. And you can't really see them unless we're in combat. Attack, 25% bonus accuracy, 7.2% crit chance, 66% crit severity. Movement, 20.7 flight turn speed. And you'll see, taking the Tachyon thing off, my turn rate is 3.6 degrees a second without it, and then with it it's 3.7, just a little bit better. But I also like it because it increases the crit severity and crit chance too. So oops. So that's the ship. Is beautiful. It turns really quick. You can see here I'm turning, turn around and face. See, there's a deflector enabled, and I don't like the visual looks of that. So it turns really fast. I can turn around pretty darn fast. Not bad, huh? So, that's it, man. Let's go do a quick skirmish in space here. We'll do just a quick deep space encounter so I can show you the abilities. Obviously the enemy will be way below my level, but that's not the point. I just want to show you the abilities right now, and then we'll do STFs. So let's go and do an encounter here somewhere. Find one. Somewhere, come on. There's gotta be someone. There we go. Okay, let's go to that one. Warp 30. Alright. Now, this is just to demonstrate the abilities. First, I'm not going to use any special abilities. I'm just going to show you the plain old firing pattern that it has. May have trouble finding some enemies here. There's a lot of people here. Let's change instance. There we go. Some enemies we can practice on. Alright, so the first thing is just to show you what it looks like firing its default wing cannon platforms and regular dual heavy cannons. And the kinetic cutting. I didn't even get to fire the wing cannons because destroyed the enemy so fast. There we go. You can see the two big bolts that it fires out of here. It's slower than my dual heavy cannons, obviously. But it will constantly fire from there. These enemies are so low level that it's almost too easy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but I'll try to show you the charged up. We'll charge up that, and I'll show you the burst. Here it goes. There it is. See? Charge. Bam! Look at that. It destroyed that whole entire fleet of ships with one explosion. How awesome is that? You can't beat that. I'll do the Tachyon one next. Alright, come on. Tachyon. Oh, come on, dude. Not nice. I'm demonstrating things. Need more enemy. Get away. Let's go over here. Tachyon, go. There's the Tachyon. So you can see how that works. Now, oh, he's going to follow me. Wonderful. So I wanted to show you the wing cannon platforms. Alright, now, let's go over here. Now, where are my wing cannon platforms? There we go. It's hard to show them because enemies die so fast they don't get a chance to fire much. But, like I said, they do work with cannon rapid fire and scatter volley, so if I use rapid fire on them, where's that enemy at? If I use rapid fire, then it will work. Let me find somebody I can shoot at. It's like the enemy's on the edge of my vision and then it's not there. Okay, let's go over here. We'll wait for my things to catch up. There they are, they're trailing. Now, we'll hit rapid fire. There they go. Come on, dude. Total butthole. Trying to demonstrate stuff. Well, anyway, you guys get the idea. It's hard to show in this map because enemies are so easy to take down. But yeah, working with rapid fire, you get all the rapid fire, bang, 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 and then these, you saw that, they did bang, 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 bang too. And I'll try to demonstrate that more in the STFs and show that. But I think in Taldewa you'll be able to really see how that benefits things. Let's go ahead and change instance. And yeah, in Taldewa you'll really be able to see how they benefit. They don't follow me when I change instance. Gotta cool down there. What I wanted to show you is the scatter volley with it, because it combined with the scatter volley is just really cool. I'm just gonna sit here. Oh wait, I can do that. Or we can just go to another one. Oh, that's a good group right there. That's the group I want. I want to show you scatter volley on this thing. Come on, hurry up. As long as nobody else comes here, I think we're good. And yeah, you see the cutting beam is constantly active too. And then I'll show you the high yield torp and all that in combat. This is pretty awesome. Okay, there we go. Deploy. Get in range, hit scatter volley, watch this sucker. And of course I didn't get a chance to really shoot a lot because it kills them really fast on this map. But you get the idea, right? So awesome. So anyway, and you can see that these also work with the Tachyon thing. They also shoot the Tachyon things as well. So, that one's shooting us. Oh. Very cool. They didn't even take damage from that. So there you go. That's just a little look at the abilities, and so what I'm going to do is queue up, of course, for some elite STFs, and we'll do the STFs in order, and then we'll do some Taldewa, and then we'll talk about the whole thing after that experience. But if you want to see this thing in battle, just hold on tight, and I'll get that up for you guys. But that is going to yeah, you're gonna like it, so stay tuned for that. Okay, see you guys in the next video.